And we are live. Arnold Palmer plus Puerto Rico Open. Final thoughts, narratives, anything along the lines, questions, whatever you guys want these next 20 minutes. And as always, questions in my DMs. Just hit me up for questions. Going to go through a few player interviews, a few narratives, go through the cards, go through the bets, the DFS plays, the whole shindig like we normally do on Wednesday evening. So let's start with a few quotes and some overwhelming narratives that the players have been saying about the course over at Bay Hill. It's looking like it's playing a tad softer because of the rain Florida has gotten the last few months, but it still looks like it's going to brown out over the weekend. The weather looks solid over the weekend in Orlando. Down in Palm Beach, it's currently pouring right now, but it's not looking to get wet up in Orlando this weekend, which is good. Hopefully, Will Zalatoris was saying he's expecting it to bake out over on Sunday like it usually does, get a little brown in those greens, and we could get some firm and fast conditions. So that's the overwhelming narrative I'm riding with, and I do think that is how we're going to see it. So what I think you should do, maybe Thursday, Friday, showdown matchups, anything along Thursday, Fridays, target the more accurate guys versus the bombers. And then once the weekend goes down in showdown, go towards the bombers because everyone's going to be playing out of the rough rather than the accurate guys on Thursday or Friday. There will be a more of a premium on playing out of the fairway if that turns out to be the case. Okay, so and also I think that's for your outright bets, bet the grinders, bet the guys who are tee to green savants who will just fight that war of attrition that Bay Hill is going to present. But in the early round showdown stuff or in the DFS slope streets, go with the different narrative. Go with the precision guys. That's what I would say due to the weather that we're going to get. So let's talk a little bit about, Puerto Rico narratives. Nothing really changed about the course. Nico Echeverria was saying the course is playing a bit longer and slower, which kind of just goes with what I was saying all week. Bet those bombers, bet those guys who are not afraid to take it low. So let's get into the betting card. I went with Scotty Scheffler at 8-1. I grabbed him. This is the first favorite I've bet this year on the PGA Tour, and clearly that hasn't worked out much. So hopefully Scotty Scheffler can change the narrative thus far. But this is a golf course where even if the putter, even if Bay Hill is playing a little easier than it has been in the past, this is still one of the harder venues on tour year after year. I want Scotty Scheffler in that venue. It's plain and simple. Look, he changed his putter. He has a mallet going right now, but that's only going to benefit him. If he doesn't make all those 10-foot putts, whatever, but that should eliminate him from missing the 1 4-footer he misses every single round. That adds up over 72 holes. 8-1 Scotty Scheffler. I love it. I mean, I'm not going to sell you on Scotty Scheffler ball striking stats. He's the fucking best in the world at that. It's the putter. Any change is good for Scotty. I'm happy he got the mallet in the bag now. Should be good for him over 72 holes. Will Zalatoris, 34-1. If you've been following me for a while, I've been watching my Vince Eric show with Adam Kirk. I've been eyeing up Bay Hill for Will Zalatoris for the last few months. Monitoring the game, monitoring how he's looked, monitoring his quotes. He stated on, I think his interview was Tuesday, I feel above pace. I feel better than I thought I was going to feel at this time. That's all I needed to hear. Obviously, he's coming off the runner-up at the Genesis. The ball striking stats are awesome. I love this golf course for him. He doesn't have the greatest course history on earth, but you think it's a big boy ballpark. You got to hit a ton of drivers, long irons, firm and fast greens. That is exactly what Will Zalatoris has done well in his 3-year PGA Tour career. So Willie Z 34-1 and Scotland Scheffler at 8-1 are my two outright bets this week. A little bit talking about the DFS pool. I went heavy on Colin Morikawa. I think those first 2 days of softer conditions. I'm not saying we're going to get target golf softer than it's going to be on the weekend. Will place more of a premium on playing out of the fairway and hitting those iron shots, which Colin Morikawa does better than anyone. And he's clearly had good history here. 2 starts ago, he gained over 10 strokes ball striking to the field. So he likes his way around Bay Hill. I went with Justin Thomas. I bought that little dip in the odds, bought that little dip in the pricing. If Justin Thomas were to just make the cut at Riviera, he would have been priced up with just underneath Xander or Pat, but he's all the way down the bottom of this range. So I like JT in a bounce back spot. I also, he doesn't have much course history either, but I don't fault little course history for bad course history, if you know what I'm saying. He doesn't have enough reps to have good or bad course history. He's got one start, so it is what it is. JT, I love that. Sahith Theegala, I love him as well in DFS. Very high risk, high reward player. If he's hitting fairways, he is going to be dominant this week, because if he's playing out of the fairway, he could tap into that elite iron prowess, elite around the green creativity, and great putter. So I love Sahith. Also went with Wyndham Clark, a guy who does have bad course history, low ownership, but he seems to have found something this last month of the golf season. And his bad course history was when he was a bad golfer. Like, Wyndham Clark wasn't a major winner at this time last year. He was fucking Wyndham Clark. And now he's a major winner. He won an elevated event, and he's clearly on a class above he was last year. So Wyndham Clark at low ownership on a golf course where that should suit him well when you think about it. Driver heavy, long mid irons, and get a hot putter. He's a great chipper. I think I like Wyndham Clark. And then finally, I did Sung J M down in this, I think it came in. I did Sung J M. He's playing horrible golf. But there will be a time where Sung J M finds it. I was talking to Will Wilcox all last week, and he was telling me how he's a grinder. He's a perfectionist. He's going to get it right. It's a matter of time. And he says he's flushing it. He looks good on the range. I'm down because Sung J is an elite talent. There will be a time where he just pops out of nowhere, and you're like, okay, yeah, Sung J's back. I'm going to do it for the foreseeable future. Play Sung J in DFS. Play Sung J first round leader, because we all know he will pop sooner than later. He's got great course history around Bay Hill. Should fit his eye well. And Sung J's not a guy who loses strokes on approach in 6 straight starts, who misses multiple cuts in a row. Let's do the Sung J thing. 6K range. Go check out my 6K video. I gave 3 6K plays in for the Arnold Palmer. So let's talk about the Puerto Rico Open while we're here. Those are the main DFS plays and the outright bets. Puerto Rico Open, I went with Ryo Hisatsune, 30-1. Good number on him. Ryo, a 21-year-old Japanese stud. He's not the longest. He's definitely not the longest, but he's an elite birdie maker. He won in France when iron play was heavy. He's going to have to lean on his iron play this week. I just love the fearless young talent that Ryo presents. Brandon Wu, 35-1. You look at Brandon Wu's course history around coastal tracks, fucks in Mexico, fucks in Puerto Rico. So down, 35-1 on a guy who's kind of been on leaderboards the last month or two of the season. So I'm down for Brandon Wu at 35-1. Justin Suh, 45-1. I'm going to continue to buy Justin Suh's overall talent. A former top amateur in the world, a great driver, a great putter. The iron play is a question mark for Justin Suh. If he can find the irons, he will definitely succeed. And over the last few weeks of the PGA Tour season, Justin Suh's been hit or miss with the irons. I think he had a week before the Farmers. He gained like 5 strokes on approach, and then the Farmers, he lost like 8. Very volatile, but this field is so bad, his baseline will elevate just being in the field. And then if he could find it from there, we're off to the races. Great number on Justin Suh. And this is a launching pad week. This is a place where studs get their first win. So I'm down for Justin Suh. You can make fun of me for this next pick. Mike Kim, 50-1. A golfer that just has a newfound confidence in 2024, truthfully. Love him or hate him on Twitter. I'm not the biggest fan of Mike Kim, truthfully. But he's finished T5 last year, playing better golf, contended, I guess, at Torrey Pines over the weekend before he faded. And he's won in a birdie fest before. So he should be confident. He's truthfully one of the better golfers in this field. So I'm down for some Mike Kim at 50-1. 2 more bets. Sam Stevens, 51. Another guy, launching pad week. We've seen him contend a few times, or like 2 times in his PGA Tour career. I'm very high on his talent. 50-1, good number for that launching pad week. And then finally, Chandler Phillips. He's a guy who won on the Korn Ferry Tour in the Bahamas, I believe. Very similar conditions to what we're seeing now. And he's gained ball striking in 3 of 4 starts on the PGA Tour in 2024, plus driver in the distance category. So I love that from old Chandler Phillips. And then I got 6 first-round leaders. Aaron Rye and Chris Gotterup, also, these are also DFS plays. Aaron Rye and Chris Gotterup, I like these two guys because their ball striking alone should have them have a high baseline, like top 10, top 15 range, but I don't really trust them to sustain that putter for 72 holes. I much prefer that in a one-round aspect or just a DFS aspect where they don't have to win the golf tournament to pay it off. Ben Coles and Parker Cootie. Well, I'll talk about Ben Coles first. He's the 2023 Korn Ferry Tour winner, and he hasn't really paid off thus far on the PGA Tour. He missed cuts. It looks a little bit uncomfortable out there. Head down to Puerto Rico, glorified Korn Ferry Tour event, glorified Korn Ferry Tour field. Should feel more confident. We know this guy's really talented. He's done it all Korn Ferry Tour season, all Korn Ferry season last year. Has done it on the PGA Tour a few years back as well. So Ben Coles, very talented. We're buying the dip. He's low in that 6K range, so I'm down for Ben Coles. Parker Cootie has done great things in his PGA Tour career thus far. Absolute ball striking bastard. Gives it away on the putting green, gives it away around the greens. But in easy scoring conditions, the ball striking alone should be high enough to get that high-end DFS finish. Doesn't need to win. And then finally, Kevin Doherty and Ben Griffin. Kevin Doherty is literally one of the longest drivers in 2024, believe it or not. And that will play in Puerto Rico. He's gained in every start ball striking this in 2024. Every single one. That's 4. Every single one. Kevin Doherty has gained strokes to the field ball striking. So I'm down for him at long shot first round leader, low owned, low priced DFS play. And finally, Ben Griffin. Ben Griffin has not played great golf of late, but he's played in some elevated events. He did not look well at the Honda, which should have suited him well. Now, Ben Griffin, anytime you get him on Bermuda, his baseline rockets. I'm kind of buying that dip. The golf is not great right now. It's similar to Sung J M. We've seen Ben Griffin do it. All of his good golf has came on Bermuda. That's what we're getting in Puerto Rico in easier conditions. So that's what I'm doing. Those are the DFS plays, the outright bets for Puerto Rico and the Arnold Palmer. Quick final thoughts, just wrapping up everything for the week. Any questions, you guys know where to find me, but we've got plenty of chances to make money this week, and we are going to make money this week. First round leaders out. Why not hit 4 first round leaders and 4 outrights? Any questions, hit me up. If you want the cards, hit me up. I got you. Talk to you guys on Friday for the 36 hole updates.